Okay, so the first thing you'll want to do is pick out a crochet hook, and I would encourage you to pick out something that is kind of in the middle, not too big and not too small. I'm working with a size H hook, and it is a 5mm hook. The yarn, if you're starting out, I would encourage you to go with any type of yarn that isn't too fuzzy. The fuzzy yarn, while it's beautiful, is kind of hard to work with. So you want to pick with something basic to start with when you're learning how to practice your crochet stitches. Okay, so there are two ways to hold your crochet hook, and the most important thing here is to make sure that you are comfortable with whatever position you want to be in. So the knife method is just like you're holding a knife from the top, and then the pencil method is underneath. But whatever method you choose, just make sure that it is very comfortable for you. The first thing that you're going to want to do is learn how to make a slip knot. To make a slip knot, there are multiple ways of doing it. You can just take your yarn and make a little loop, and then you can push out the little loop like so. You're going to have the working yarn, which is attached to the ball of yarn, and then the tail. And generally with a tail, you don't have to leave a long tail like you do in knitting to estimate your cast on. Just enough to where you can use a needle to weave in your ends. So I tend to put the tail, the short tail, towards me, and then I cross the working yarn in front, and then I go in, hold where it crosses, and then pull through, and that makes a slip knot. Or you could just make one that way. So whatever is the most comfortable way. And then you'll hold, for left-handed, you'll hold the crochet hook in your left hand. You want to make sure that you keep your chain, that it's not too tight. You'll want to tension the working yarn through your right hand, and your pinky kind of helps tension the yarn. And as you practice, you'll find your most comfortable position. There's no right, no wrong way, just whatever's comfortable for you. When you're starting, you're going to want to hold the knot at the bottom, and then you're going to twist the yarn around the back of the hook, and then you're going to hold the knot and pull through the loop. Again, wrap the yarn around the back and pull through. You wrap the yarn around the yarn, wrap the yarn around the crochet hook and pull through. And then eventually you will have enough to hold on to and be able to just kind of work your fingers up the chain to hold the chain steady. Loop it and come through, loop it and come through, and you just keep practicing that until you have consistent chain. When you're starting out, there's a tendency to crochet too tightly, and so it makes it difficult for subsequent stitches when you are coming back trying to get your stitches in. So when you're looking at the crochet stitches, you're going to see that they form a V. And that is the front side, and then the back side has little bumps on it, kind of like the bumps of, I don't know, a turtle maybe. Sometimes when you're starting out, you'll actually come back and crochet into those little bumps, which can be a little tricky at first. Or you'll see that you can crochet just in the top of one of the V's, depending on what the pattern says. When you are making your chain, the pattern will usually tell you how many chains to start with. You won't count the chain that is on the hook. The way you count your stitches is by counting the V's. You don't count the little knot at the bottom, so you could count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Once you are following the pattern that tells you how many chains to do, it's best to chain an extra few, and you'll be counting the chains that you have made. You can always easily remove the chains by putting in the hook wherever you want as far as the number is concerned. So let's say I wanted 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I'm going to put the head of the crochet needle in the 8th chain, and then I can just simply pull on the working yarn to undo those extra chains. And so that is how you can easily undo your work. So the slip stitch is abbreviated as SL space SD, so short for slip stitch. And so you will take the head of your crochet hook and put it into the stitch that the pattern recommends. Then you're going to bring your working yarn from the back over to the front, and then you're going to pull through both of the loops that are on your hook. And as you can see, that doesn't really give it any height, and that's why it's called kind of a low profile stitch. So the single crochet is abbreviated SC, and it's used in many projects. It is not a leggy stitch, meaning that it is very squat and short. So let's take a look at how to make a single crochet. The pattern will tell you where to put your single crochet. For example, we are going to practice by putting it in the 2nd chain from the hook. So you don't count the chain that is on the hook, you just place your hook in that 2nd V, and you go in to the back. You would loop the yarn back to front, and then you would pull it through, and you'd have 2 loops on the hook. Then you would go from back to front, yarn over, and pull through both. There's a single crochet. You see, I'm just kind of tensioning the yarn with my pinky, and I'm kind of keeping the tension of the working yarn with my index finger, but however is the most comfortable, that's what you want to do. And you'll repeat however many single crochets that the pattern tells you to do. So when you look at this, you can see that it is a short squat kind of stitch. And you'll repeat and practice all the way to the end. You can make a lot of things with just this basic stitch. You can make things like dish towels. Really, it's just a foundation stitch. When you get to the end, you want to make sure that you single crochet in that last loop, but you don't single crochet in the slip knot space. So it doesn't really take a lot of stitch to know how to get started with a crochet. As a matter of fact, I was going to show you what whips I have, works in progress, actually partially whips, because one of these is already completed, and this is just to give you an idea. I completed this. It's a pattern from Viv Crochets, and it's just a little shopping bag, have to carry shopping bags now, and it uses the moss stitch or linen stitch. Love this, especially for beginners, because it's really a chain. If you know how to chain and if you know how to single stitch, you got the moss stitch, also known as the linen stitch, granite stitch, I think. So there's several names for it. And you can really play with the colors to make it even more fun. And then I am making 2 panels in the moss stitch, and I'm actually going to turn this into a zipper pouch. So I will bring you along when I get to making that. But again, this just uses a chain stitch and a single crochet. So it doesn't take a lot of know-how. And the fun thing about it is that you don't even really need a, sorry, you don't need fruit fly. You don't even need a pattern. You can just start creating. So I just wanted to show you those 2 works in progress. Well, one's done. This is a work in progress. When you get to the end, you want to make sure that you single crochet in that last loop, but you don't single crochet in the slip knot space. Okay, so next we're going to work on the half double crochet. The half double crochet is abbreviated HDC, and it is taller than a single crochet but not as tall as a double crochet. It works up pretty quickly and it gives you a really pretty stitch. So you're going to chain 1 and then turn your work, and with a half double crochet you're going to wrap the thread around first before putting it into the stitch. So bring the yarn over, and then you're going to go into your first V stitch. So I'm going to go into this one, and you're going to go right under the V. So you want to make sure that the V is looking like that. So you've gone through both of those threads. So let's do that again. So it's going to be yarn over, and then you're going to go in, and then you're going to grab the yarn in the back, and then you're going to pull it through. You're going to have 3 loops on your crochet hook, and then you're going to yarn over, and you're going to pull through all 3 loops. Okay, so again, yarn comes from back to front. You're going to insert it into this next V. So right through there. So then you yarn over, and you're going to bring the yarn to the front. You're going to have 3 loops, then you're going to bring the yarn over, and then you're going to pull it through all 3 loops. Again, yarn over into the next stitch, yarn over, pull through. You'll have 3 loops, yarn over, pull all through 3. Yarn over, and yarn over, pull through 3 loops, yarn over, through all 3. And that's your half double crochet. You can chain it wider and make a perfectly good washcloth or dish rag. If you use the 100% cotton, it tends to last longer. So now doing a double crochet. Double crochet stitch is really popular. It's abbreviated DC, and it works projects up quickly. It is taller, and it's not as dense as the single crochet. Like if you did a piece in single crochet or half double crochet, that tends to be a tighter work than if you did a double crochet. Now I'm going to show you. Now whenever you're going to do a double crochet, when you reach the end of your work, you're going to want to make it taller. So you're going to usually chain 2 before turning your work. See, that gives it the height that you need to work your double crochet. And so to work your double crochet, you're going to do a yarn over like we did in the half double crochet. And then you're going to look for that stitch, and we're going to go in, yarn over, you're going to pull through, and you're going to have 3 loops on your crochet. And instead of pulling through all 3 to make a half double crochet, you're just going to pull through 2, and then you're going to do a yarn over and then pull through the last 2. So you can see here that the first chain 2 right here will count as your first double crochet, then this is your second double crochet. So let's do that again. Yarn over into the next stitch, so just below that next stitch the V, and you go, pull through, 3 loops on the hook, yarn over, just pull through 2, then yarn over again and pull through the last 2. Now keep going, yarn over and up, 3 loops, yarn over, and then you're going to pull through the 2, yarn over and pull through the last 2. You can see it's a breezier stitch. There are more holes between that, and we built quite a bit of height. So you can see how that would get worked up pretty quickly in your work. And that is your double crochet.